Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of MBTV News. You probably know what this is by now. Basically, we look at news from virtual worlds and immersive spaces online. Not strictly speaking, helmet land, occasionally glasses land. I don't know, but whatever's important. Now, you can still find me, I believe, on Twitter. At
Hmm.
least one of me, and that is twitter.com slash Mal Burns, Malburns. It's the at Mal Burns. And there's an at Metal World News there too. There's the other ones, especially the Mal Burns writer, which is a Second Life avatar, has been skewered by the musketeer's musket or sword or whatever, and it's nothing I'm doing seems to be helping. It's rather like Instagram, where the God Emperor himself has somehow stopped me using Instagram. Now I can use Facebook. Okay, who knows? I don't even want to use Facebook. Who does? Anyway. Enough of that. We've got virtual worlds and immersive spaces to deal with. As I said, my name is Mal Burns. Well, actually, I did say that. I gave you the Twitter address without introducing myself. Ooh, how rude of me. Mal Burns, two words. I'm joined on the news desk here, as it were, by James Atloud, who fiddles with all the knobs to control our audio and our different cameras and stuff like that. So, welcome to James.
Thank you, Mal. And I'm going to turn on my in-world voice. There we go. So I hope that doesn't catch you off guard. But yeah, it's good to be
Hello.
here. Good to be here.
Yes, yeah, I can't hear any interference from voice. Mine is
All
probably
right.
muted completely. I have special lips now. Indeed, I do.
Indeed.
This is a little secret of mine and others. The mesh moves. Yes, indeed, the mesh is moving. Oh, that's what we see today. And the hair's. I think I had a heart attack in my sleep or something. The hair's gone all light. Never mind. Right. Let's get on with this show, as we call it. Today, by the way, is the 1st of October. How could I have forgotten that one?
Ooh,
Um,
scary month.
oh, I know
Yeah.
already. Yes, scary month. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Everything virtual is Halloween on the 1st, whereas the real Halloween takes place at the last, if you catch my drift. But we can live with that. We can
Yep.
live with that. We're not here to show Halloween movies. They're on another channel. Right. Okay, so that's the date. And yeah, it's a Sunday, of course. And I'm basically looking back at stuff during the past week. I'm going to quickly hop to one link. I'm halfway down the list, actually. I think it was on Tuesday, which is called the XR Peak Week. And this is by somebody called the Scarred Ghost, who's otherwise known as Tony Vitillo. But we have a sound effect for the Scarred Ghost. I haven't actually
Ooh.
figured out a sound effect yet for Tony Vitillo. We don't need to anyway, do we? Anyway, I mention this because, in fact, like many of my links these days, we're dealing with roundup sites that just prompt us for a bit of comment. Yeah, he's looking at Pico 5. He's looking at something called the Quest 3, which I believe is something to do with the God Emperor's Zukabuga. Where are we? Yeah, scrolling down the list. Some of this is what he calls leaks, and I don't normally go for leaks. It's too much like gossip and rumour rather than fact. But sometimes the leaks are valid if they're everywhere anyway. Pre-orders for Visor. Yeah, right. The app is called Immersed, and they're bringing out a Visor headset, as they're calling it.
So they say.
Uh, yeah. Um, and Unity has backed down a bit on their announcement about charging almost everybody in the viewing chain. Actually, they've backed down, but they haven't backed down fully. They've just revised the charges and stuff, partly delaying some of them, redefining personal as free, and all that sort of stuff. Fairly drastic changes. They
Yep.
really
Yep.
were in trouble there. And Ray-Ban stories too got FCC approval. Ray-Ban, of course, makes sunglasses, but the Ray-Ban stories are actually made in cooperation with, guess who? Meta. Meta, Meta. Does it matter? No, of course it doesn't matter, Meta. Right. Simulo VR has delayed. Gosh golly. Resonite is the new Neos. Oh, that's interesting. Neos VR has been around for quite a while,
Yeah.
but longer than the recent sort of couple of years where we've left, right, and centre versions of metaverses. So they've been around a while there. And yeah, something else called Resonite is coming along, which is from Fruxius. Where did they get these names? Resonite sounds like a brand name of sort of a baggage for airplanes and stuff, but that's Samsonite, isn't it? I'm getting confused. How can I possibly get confused? Right, and registering for OR in Europe is another thing there. Farjo area down in price, Hollow Ride, and well, if you come here, you will obviously get all the week. Not last week's news, but the week before. If you actually do follow the link to scarghost.com tomorrow or Tuesday, you will actually get a new edition of this, which sort of covers the same period as I'll be covering. So the website is skarredghost.com. And one of the points here is about registering for OR in Europe, which is in a month's time. Meanwhile, of course, or the actual or is coming up not so long away in wherever in the States it is. And I say that because I think that might be an appropriate segue to okay, the power of personal meetings. This is there's a couple of trailers here for all, so I'm going to run them now.
All this XR tech is seeing is believing, right? You can't download headsets. And so physical events like AWE are crucial for all these companies to actually get their products and experiences in consumers' hands and on people's heads. Like they're critical.
I mean, business gets made when we're together in person, and so being able to actually physically go over and try out one of our product demos or have a conversation about a technical problem they're having, it makes all the difference, and it allows us to kind of show our passion for the space and our passion for making, tools for developers that will ultimately get them paid.
Any industry, you gotta have a forum for people to talk, for people to meet, for people to show off what they have, and for people to find partners and collaborators. And I think this is one of the best forums for that to happen anywhere in the world.
Seeing familiar faces and seeing new faces and having the opportunity to connect with people that are also so passionate about what I'm passionate about. But then in addition to that, all of the networking and business opportunities are always amazing. We always have the best leads come out of AWE every year.
Every time we go to AWE, you meet the people who are taking this industry. So it's always good to meet, talk, sync up with what's going on. And I do think AWE will continue being there.
Getting to meet everyone that I talk to all year round. I talk to various businesses, from our partners to our clients, and it's always over Zoom or Google Hangouts or Google Meet. And just getting to talk to people in person, feeling that energy. And every time I come here, I just leave so excited because we understand what's coming up, what people have been up to, and creates that sense of excitement just about the future every time we come here.
You've got big companies, small companies, a lot bigger booths, and a whole lot more.
Is that
people
looping,
here.
Mal?
So much more real.
No, there's four of them.
Oh,
We were
okay.
able to show to all kinds of people, like manufacturers of headsets, educators, students, people who create mixed reality experience and they're looking for prototyping tools. So it was fantastic exposure for us.
A lot of platforms we work with, Snapchat, TikTok, Niantic, H-Wall. It's great to see the people that we talk with all the time and the platforms we build on. It brings together the industry, right? People that normally wouldn't talk, from creators to developers to businesses to investors.
When we have work, we always have a lot of fun traffic come through. Some people, like I said, are investors. Some of them are potential hired people looking for a solution that we're providing.
The abundance and the amount of companies, the different layers like infrastructure, content, applications, utility, enterprise, consumer, you have everything represented here.
Yeah, pause there. Yes, I have four very short clips here, but
Ah, okay.
as you can probably tell, they're recycling footage they filmed in different ways for
Yep.
each one, so they're all got different things in them. But I'll play the other couple a bit later and return now to some more of the links other than the Scargoes, of course. So,
One fellow's voice, I thought I was hearing Arnold Schwarzenegger.
oh my goodness gracious me!
Yeah,
Well, no, he wasn't there, but you
yeah.
never
No, no.
know. He might have been turned into an avatar, but then again, it's not about avatars there, it's about real people.
That's right.
Well, for what they're saying, of course. It's a shame. They broadcast everything that happens there, so that's fine.
Yep.
They don't have any avatar events per se. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the top of my list here, which is the most recent thing in the list here. Meet Emma Twin. Dassault Systems Avatar showcasing how virtual twins drive healthcare innovation. As you can tell from the title, healthcare innovation, this is particular to healthcare stuff. The idea is you have an avatar designed to raise awareness of the key role that virtual twins have in advancing healthcare, etc. Virtual twins is an odd sort of there's no real good definition. I always think of, well, you've got an avatar and you've got an organic, and they're twins, aren't they? Sort of thing. But people refer to objects, places, and everything else as twins now. So you've got a virtually built recreation of, I don't know, something like Birmingham. And that's a twin of Birmingham, isn't it? Yeah. And I suppose I could make a mesh model of my thumb, and that would be a virtual twin of my thumb. And yeah, so you get the idea, though. It's like an online twinning thing. I guess it doesn't even have to be an avatar. There are many ways of describing twins. But anyway, this is a little review about Emma. Emma Twin, gosh golly. She shares stories explaining how her virtual twin was created from health data, and it can be used for an infinite number of tests that give doctors and researchers a profound understanding of diseases and the effects of new improved treatments. And of course, she issues social media posts and connects with her clients that way too. So you will find this at www. Didn't know you need that anymore. 3DS. So that's 3 the numeral and then DS the non-numerals. Yeah. .com. And then you can do /newsroom and then /press releases to be a bit more accurate. One of the reasons I promote my Twitter feed, which is also a Mastodon feed, is that if you can get hold of the links on my feed, they tend to bypass front pages, so you get straight to the site I'm actually talking about. And there's more on my feeds than I can possibly fit into the show here. So these ones are kind of highlights. I don't know whether this next one really is a highlight, but I just can't resist posting it. It's from immersivewire.com, and it asks the questions: did British politicians wear metaverse avatars? Apparently some of our politicians decided to have a little natter about blockchain and Web3 visions in a recent event, and they wore some avatars in the process. I rather wish Richie Sunak had not come back out. But that's what happened, wasn't it? So there's a little photograph of Blockchain Association's forum, and I'm not sure. I don't think Sunak would have been in it actually, but it was certainly senior politicians. In other words, your members of parliament were wasting time in computer games, so you better go to their surgery and moan. How dare you waste your time in a computer game, Mr. MP? You're meant to be representing me, not my avatar. Well, maybe you could do both. Come to think of it, this may be the future. My MP may be a virtual presence.
My avatar's taking a little offense here. That's a little.
Yeah, well, it would save me having to, hold my nose when I go into his surgery.
Indeed.
Anyway. As if I'm going to go to his surgery anyway. Okay, it coincides with the launch of Parliamentary Group for Blockchain Technologies. UK has the potential to become a smart country. Gosh golly, wonder what that can be. when I sort of turn off in my head when I hear blockchain mentioned. To be honest, you
Yep.
know, it's
Yep.
not, well, anyway, I will pass on that. But that was a headline I just had to link to, wasn't it? You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
how could I possibly not do that? For those of you who don't know, I am in the UK. This is why I noticed it. Okay, Rokid Max AR glasses, big screen on the go. Well, this is big screen on the go. This is an editorial, in fact, by Charlie Fink, and it's at Forbes.com, which you may find is behind a firewall, but tough. Some of his posts get reposted elsewhere. So you might find it. Actually, this is a retrospective from CES back in January, and he saw various things. And the Rokid Max, I must say, um, I'd actually call them Rokid Minis because they're getting closer to something that I might actually wear. As you can see, it looks like that. And as you can see, it also looks like that, which I think is a repeat of the same picture, but go figure. Edges indeed. They're only $400, 399 per size, and they're pardon me, a croaky there. The best of these screen projectors or assisted reality glasses, as opposed to augmented reality, the track head movement. So it really is bringing the big screen onto your nose, so to speak. I'm hearing a sort of engine noise.
It's my neighbor. My neighbor started mowing, so
Oh, there they're both. Yeah.
yep.
Well, you know what I say. Hear them mowing. You go moaning.
Okay. I've never
So
heard
moan
that
about.
before, but okay.
Oh, I mentioned it just now, didn't I? Moan about the moaning. Yeah.
Explains
I
much.
should write a song for you on that theory someday, maybe, possibly not. I don't know why I'm croaking so much, but never mind. I apologise for that, and for the noise. 75 grams is the weight of the Rokid Max, which when you hear actually things weighed in grams, you think they're not very heavy. You know, if they're in kilograms, you think, well, that might sort of flatten my head a bit. So you should be able to wear it for hours. Anyway, more about that. As I say, I don't go massively for headgear, but this does feel more like glasses to me, and I quite like the look at them. I think I've actually got some shades somewhere that are almost identical to that. So there you go. Um, and yeah, I've actually got some new glasses recently that cost me a small fortune, and they automatically go dark if the sun's out. But they've also got about 5 different lenses at different parts of the main lens, and having got them, I can't wear them because I just get dizzy with the changing view every time I move my head. But I'll get used to them, I suppose. So yes. The glasses remind me of that. Anyway, let's move on. As I said, that is at Forbes.com, Forbes.com. And if you go to HIE OpenSim blogspot.com, you can find an agenda for something that's happening in the open simulator world next weekend, and a few things in advance. So you find this at hieopensim.blogspot.com. Just passing through that, we will actually be having a program about half an hour after this show finishes, which is actually dedicated to that expo. It's a special edition of InWorld Review. So moving on with our regular stuff here. Another roundup site, Spatial Beats, looking at Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, and all sorts of stuff. The website here is arinsider.co, so ARINSIDER.co. As I said, another roundup, so they're looking at the earlier parts of the week and also later parts of the week before. But so these are all just good sites you can go to catch up on news and things. Okay. Yeah, they're looking at a film called Agents there, and it's produced by Niantic, who make headsets, of course. Basically, it's just a listing of interesting stuff. There's the OpenAI, who's the DALI version of it. I never understand it as being sort of updated with advanced things. Basically, the image generation AIs have got better and better. I have no idea how much extra energy they're taking out of the planet to actually deliver it, but That's another thing entirely. Neuralink have opened enrollment for well, what's it, bionic control implants? I don't know. The neurological things. I'm really unsure about this. I mean, they want to launch it for humans, but they're currently Neuralink are currently in court answering for animal cruelty, and there are at least two animals that have died through having these implants put in them, which is not a good sign for us humans. I mean, maybe it's all a great plot to eliminate a few of us and get a bit of population control going on the planet. Who knows? Anything goes these days. It's ridiculous. Google Bard is now integrated in Google Apps. I'm not happy about that. I tend to avoid these AIs, but the people making them, Microsoft's and Google's and Facebook's and stuff, they're determined to integrate them into all the products we already use. I would prefer to be asked or have a new product if I really want to use it. So AIs indeed, those bad as helmets. Right. Okay, roundup time here. So as you can see, there's a long list of various stuff here that you can read, including last week's week in XR. Right. So AR Insider for that one. ARinsider.co, simple CO, not a com. Okay, we've looked at him already. We started with him, and I forgot to remove him. So just a second, and I'll remove him. No offence, but from my current list, that is. EU here. This is a site called metaversepolicy.eu. So metaversepolicy.eu. When it comes to this league of admin or whatever you want to call it, there seems to be no chance in hell of they're giving up the metaverse word now they've got it. Anyway, this is one bulletin looking at AI and the metaverse, and it's again, it's like you sort of update it basically, tells you what's going on and where. Meta bought a builder bot. They need one, obviously. Google got AI tools. We just referred to that a bit. Vision Pro, the Apple contraption, is boasting a feature where users can generate 3D avatar from their faces for video conference, which, given it's got inward-looking lenses too, is not surprising. And talking about non-player characters, virtual assistants, and everything else. Not a particularly long. Oh Lord, no, I don't want to do that. Go away. Actually, there is more down there if you actually press the continue reading button. And actually, a useful list there of up and coming conferences and things like that. Obviously, these tend to be real world conferences talking about avatars as opposed to avatar conferences or avatar news desks, indeed, talking about the real world. It's the other way around, isn't it? Never mind. Moving on. Big XR news for Meta, Microsoft, and Immerse. This is xrtoday.com, xrtoday.com. And again, it's a news roundup. I don't think there was anything video-wise from Big XR news this week. Some weeks they just do blogs, so now and again they do video roundup. So that's xrtoday.com. And then this is a site called inverse.com, INVERSE. What will replace smartphones? And experts reveal the unsettling reality. Well, actually, there wasn't anything too unpredictable there. I'm still not quite sure what the unsettling reality is. But what was quite interesting is that it's a look at, you look at the chain of disruptive technology. And, I know we've got headsets and Apple's thing and everything else like that. But the really biggest upset in recent history is probably smartphones. We are addicted to them. But, they're looking at what might come next. Will we have implants that we don't actually need screens anymore, for example? Our smartphones are largely governed by the fact that they provide a screen to go with our phone and data requirements. But, will a lightweight pair of glasses function as a phone, so you won't need a phone in future, or will phones be forever tethered to things in our pockets? You know. Anyway, so interesting little article here, and it's inverse.com, INVERSE.com, and it's slash tech if you're trying to navigate to where the article is, or of course you can follow one of my links to get there directly. Moving on down, I am getting hasty here because we're halfway through at least. Right, let's see. This week in XR. Right, this again is back to Forbes and to Charlie Fink, and interestingly, I guess he is doing it. Okay. Again, this may be behind a firewall, so it's not always easy to get. Even I get that problem sometimes. Fortunately, the reader mode I use for you lot is overrides that. So yeah, Charlie was looking at the Meta Connect Developer Conference. I will mention it because it was quite a major sort of event, but really only for people who subscribe to Lord Zuckerberg's empire of goodies, or not so goodies as the case may be. But they were previewing the Quest 3, which is a 500 slimmer than normal device thanks to pancake lenses. So if you're into pancakes on your eye, I don't know, does that? It feels better on the face, unless you wear glasses, which a lot of people do these days, more than ever in history, by the way. People are needing glasses now at an earlier age and stuff. I think it's probably COVID in the atmosphere makes you blind or something. I won't go
Wow, conspiracy theory number 2.
Yeah, well, it used to be something else. When we were kids, it was something else we were told will make us blind, but that didn't really turn out to pan out.
Quite like that.
Pan out either, did it? Yeah.
No.
Anyway, there's the MetaQuest with a load of zombies looking at the screen somewhere down, and another picture of the same thing. Well, we can't get enough of Meta, can we? Right, and yeah, oh yeah, Meta. What's that symbol above the O doing there? Meta OS headquarters, anyway, wherever that was. Okay. Leading tech journalists had positive views. This is really, again, it's a roundup. I don't think there's anything other than MetaQuest in this article. The Ray-Ban business, and oh my God, that's going to break every screen inside, isn't it? Look at what's that thing smirking about? It's got is it a doll? You know, like for kids. And it squeezes its chest and it grins, I think. I don't know. Anyway, also the keynote went very deeply into AI, and that's the face of somebody else. Amazon announced it will invest up $4 billion in AI startups. Anthropic. By the way, this blog has actually moved on from the Meta thing. So we can forget the 4-letter words and move to, how many words is that? 9 by the look of it. Anthropic, as in anthropology, maybe? I don't know. But it's come from AWS. ChatGPT is one of those other AI things. And, oh yeah, this is an old picture of Travis Scott in the so-called M-verse of Fortnite, wasn't it? Okay, same thing. He's repeating his other review from earlier in the week. Okay, and advertising the podcast. So anyway, you'll find that at Forbes.com. The other big thing, I haven't really got any videos. There are a load of little sort of funny videos that you find on Twitter, which are, well, I should say X, shouldn't I? Some posted earlier today, and I tried to download them or copy them just to give a quick view of the thing, but you'll probably find it anyway. But yesterday, this big sphere opened in Los Angeles. It's been building for quite a while, and people with phones inside there. It is a very immersive thing without headphones. It was highlighted by YouTube are doing a residency there, although apparently each of the concerts is going to be a bit different. That's a way of selling a lot of tickets, isn't it? But I was very surprised by which I imagine would have made a good intro if you were in the right seat and arrived at the last minute. the first scene I saw was sort of projecting the band on this little square stage, and there was like a huge auditorium of people going up, in various height, a bit like what's the cinema called with the vertical seats? Anyway,
IMAX?
sorry.
IMAX?
Yeah, IMAX, yeah. So the seats are a bit like an IMAX theatre, they really just go up. It's got
Hey
the
guys, can you hear me?
interior itself,
Hello?
one direction, if you see what I mean. And you've got the band in a little square, and then sort of the band come on, and you're looking out over the city, and they're playing, and there's actually a road behind too with cars going by, and that I thought, well, that's big, I thought, but then the scene changed, and in fact, the whole sphere becomes a giant screen, and what you thought was the outside world isn't there anymore because it was a projection from outside, where giving the illusion that there was nothing there. But then suddenly all the psychedelics start up on the inside of the sphere, and you realise that you weren't seeing through anything at all. You're still indoors. So I imagine that would have had quite a profound effect to people in there, given the scale of the thing. Because you're sitting at the top of one of these seats, you're looking out and thinking, well, there's the city, behind the stage, and then suddenly it's gone. It was never there. It was an illusion created by projecting in the room a colossal size picture which looked like the real city. So I was impressed by that, although strictly speaking it's not an online experience, but it's innovative, I think. And obviously you two, being you two, are getting great mileage out of it. So they were promoting it also for being green and everything else, and carbon credits and whatever. And then somebody pointed out that the sphere itself was using, about enough power to actually power the city. And I thought, well, that's nothing to do with us. We're just performing, and we've got a green set. A bit of double talk there, I think, actually, but there you go. Okay, and finally, final thing here, it's in the regular Twitter feed, it's psychologyofgames.com, and the podcast just came today on how do we get immersed in game worlds. Which could apply to virtual worlds too. I mean, basically, it's a discussion. It's on. You can get it, as you can see, Spotify. You can go anywhere to get it. Really, it's a discussion on, not the addictive nature so much of virtual worlds and games, but the how we feel very immersed and present in some things, and what is making that, rather than maybe an addiction to the game or what you're playing. What is it about the connection between the avatar and the human and the controllers we have that makes us get so immersed, so to speak? So interesting little podcast there, if you will. And right, that's the last of the web links. So now I can actually move on back to the how are we doing? We've got about 15 minutes maybe. Okay, I'm going to move forward to a couple more of the things from OR, and then the M7 Innovation Brief. There's 2 episodes of that, but it's very short, and you'll see from the subjects why I'm going to play them. So let's go with
I
this.
feel like I get a glimpse 6 to 8 months into the future coming to this event because I see what's happening, what's boiling, what's bubbling up, and I get this clarity and insight that I wouldn't have had I not been able to come and attend this and connect with all of my peers, get all that amazing insight.
In this conference, you have people who have been in the domain and field for the past 10 years. They know everything that it is, and that is for me the number one value. Making sure that when we do something, we get the critical fingers of the top experts in the domain.
The market is maturing, we can see that, and it shows in the audience, the attendees of these events. This is a great litmus test for where we are as an industry. This event will be perfect.
One of the benefits of being here is that we can talk about all these different technologies that are going to work together to create all these different layers of the metaverse that need to happen.
This is definitely the best conference by far. Everybody here is, motivated by the same thing, the future of the industry, the future of, the latest technologies that are coming out. A lot of conferences have a side focus on AR, VR, XR, but this is, the only one forum that's really focused on these technologies as a whole. It's always very informative. I feel like I get like a year's worth of knowledge in a few days.
I hope that everyone takes away that emerging tech is no longer emergent. This is all happening now, and though we've been waiting for all of these hardware devices to kind of catch up with what the software can do, we're at the precipice of something really big, and AWE is going to be the place to continue to find the best in the world.
So I'm here to connect with everybody and see old friends, and it's the one time of the year where it's like a reunion, and you see everybody, you talk to everybody, and it's amazing to like just connect. It's a total exhilarating high to be here for a couple of days every year. You can't walk 5 feet without running into somebody, like big hug, and you talk to people. It's great.
Seeing familiar faces and seeing new faces and having the opportunity to connect with people that are also so passionate about what I'm passionate about. But then in addition to that, all of the networking and business opportunities are always amazing. We always have the best leads come out of AWA every year.
With any conference, and probably specifically like this one, the fact that you can come to one place and see hundreds of friends from this industry, right? That's really what brings people together. It's the happiness of the community. To communicate face to face, to be able to shake hands and give hugs and have drinks together.
And
that's
dance.
something that's hard to do in an online forum.
I think it's very inclusive. I feel like you can be yourself. You know, if you look around, there are very different people. Everyone is accepted. Everyone is welcome. I have only one experience, and I think it's a very kind of community. I had a great time.
Giving me the stage when back then I was literally the alien in the room talking about AR and city planning. I think just giving me the space to explore and evolve the idea, and always with kind of the good support.
Just really excited to be part of all this, right? It's exciting times. It's glad that we're all kind of pointing in the same direction. We all want to see these things being used for good, and we want to see them succeed, and that's a great thing to be part of.
I just had a quick thought there, or a reminder rather. During the week, I forget which day it was, I interrupted my other rehearsals for the Hypergrid International Expo virtually every evening for me in England at the moment. But I did take time off. It may have been Wednesday to go to into a platform called Engage, where the Virtual World Society have a monthly meetup hosted by Tom Furness, who's a real grandfather of virtuality, so to speak. And yeah, the lady who was in that there just now was at that too, although in avatar form. And they were having an interview. Oh crumbs! I guess it was. Well, the guy who was being interviewed, his name I actually forget, seemed to be actually sort of a CEO with a company that was actually involved in an awful lot of different projects. So it was very much a philosophical sort of interview rather than, you know, specifically a nitty-gritty interview. And that's the kind of stuff I like, you see. So, but I thought I'd mention that because downloading the Engage platform is easy. You can also do it on the web. And the Virtual World Society, if you look for it, they do have meetings every month, basically. So there's 12 a year, and they're pretty good. I mean, if you're used to things like OpenSim and Second Life, you may find Engage to be a little less than engaging, but it's not bad. You know, it's certainly better than, you know, the new amateur efforts from, you know, Zuckerberg and the like. So a couple of other things. The M7 Innovation Brief. Right, number 238 is TikTok, Xbox, Netflix drop. Sorry. Let's get through it. We've got time, so.
Hello and welcome to the M7 Innovation Brief. I'm your host, Matt Moore. You know the deal. Media tech innovation, 90 seconds. Let's do it.
Sorry, I'm playing the wrong one. That was from last week.
Hello and welcome to the M7 Innovation Brief. I'm your host, Matt Moore, and you know the deal. Media tech innovation, 90 seconds. Let's do it. The latest battle in Fortnite is against the FTC. Epic Games agreed to pay $245 million to refund gamers who were tricked into in-game purchases. The FTC has notified the 37 million gamers to go claim their money. This follows a ruling back in December where Epic agreed to pay $275 million for violating COPPA, the Child Online Privacy Protection Act. So this $500 million headache should set some precedents in the murky world of gamifying purchasing for kids in a gaming environment where the parent's credit card is loaded in and they are a button press away from nabbing that new swag. Parental levers mixed with stricter regulation on dark patterns, which trick users into these purchases, are absolutely necessary as we embark on the next evolution of our digital age. YouTube is unleashing a generative AI tool for its creators. Dream Screen adds AI-generated imagery or video backgrounds into your YouTube shorts, all via text prompts. You're thinking, oh no, there's already way too many YouTube videos. Here comes a new wave of AI-generated crap. But this is a little different. Dream Screen isn't just making 100% AI-generated content. It's manipulating the backgrounds, adding visual effects, and enhancing the creators themselves. It's an improvement and accelerant of the content that was already being made. Now, there will be some crap, but all in all, I do love a great creator tool. ChatGPT now has a voice, 5 of them to be exact. OpenAI announced it's adding new voice and image-based tech to the large language model. Wait for the quote. OpenAI says it's to open doors to many creative and accessibility-focused applications. Big tech loves to hide powerful features under the guise of helping those in need.
Of
They
course.
pretend there's billions of blind people bumping into each other, all trying to talk to ChatGPT. Now, I joke, and I think this is great for the visually impaired. That's not why they released it. It's land and expand, make the AI experience stickier, more useful, lock them into that ChatGPT ecosystem at all costs. That's what this was. Well, that's all the time that we have for this week's M7 Innovation Brief.
Right, there we go. And okay. One other thing I will play if we have time. It's 6 minutes, so we don't, but I will get round to it in a minute. First of all, because we're nearing the end of the show and we're on a bit of a deadline here today, I'm going to move to my secondary Mastodon feed, which is MetaWorld at Mastodon Social. And this is where all the videos of the week get posted, including replays of our own show. That's from last week. So let me get to the right place. Here we are. We're working our way backwards from the most recent. This week in XR from September 29th, which was, that'd be Friday, featuring Banks Boutte and Max Berman from Kid Bash 3D. Which I have never heard of at all. It's always quite an interesting show, though, with Charlie Fink, Rory Leibowitz, is it? And sorry?
Yeah, Rory Abramowitz and I forgot the other guy's name now.
Yeah, I forgot the other. Yeah, he's the movie guy.
Ted Schilowitz.
Ted Schilowitz, that's it. So many Charlie Fink you can remember, but Schilowitz and Robofix and some names just don't fall off the tongue for me. So my apologies to all those concerned who have these unfortunate surnames. Right, moving back to Thursday, NVIDIA and creating the building blocks of the Omniverse. There it is. Have to actually click it to make it work. This is XR Today's video news, basically.
Welcome again. This is Mark Kirton, Senior Journalist for XR Today. As always, bring you the latest and greatest.
Cloud-based.
There we are. Dane Johnston from NVIDIA.
Power and data transfer in the same place. Right.
Okay, moving on down because we aren't here to play them for you. Right, this next one is Key to the Metaverse. This is a program which...
For the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV. This
is AV Nation.
This is AV Nation.
We have to pull up with this introduction. Basically, XR Star is a program within the greater umbrella of programs called AV Nation, and sort of I've seen this before, but I wasn't actually picking up any kind of weekly ones, but I think it's more regular than I thought. So I'll just give you a quick taster there. Amelia Kalman is best
Welcome
host.
back to XR Star, your monthly podcast where we talk all things extended reality and metaverse. I'm your host, futurist Amelia Kalman. Today, organizations across industries are dipping their toes into the metaverse. Some are experimenting with virtual showrooms, whilst others with collaborative virtual workspace.
Right, well, this is 35 minutes, so I'm going to do the naughty. I'm just going to scroll through to give you a vague impression.
It's something I've been waiting for a very long time, and I think my interest comes from a bunch of different areas. One is, of course, just as an artist, the idea.
Right, actually, there's quite a lot. Okay, well, let me just tell you, there's quite a lot in this. There's the other lady there is a guest, and they're conversing, but they're covering quite a wide range of stuff. I can't remember to summarize it all, and 35 minutes is it's just too long to sample for you today. Right, next up, of course, we have our regular favourite of James's here, which is the VR download, and I think I'll let James tell you about that, if there's anything interesting here.
Well, it was an interesting episode because the usual hosts weren't there. They were actually at the MetaQuest event, and so Kyle just kind of vamped and answered questions and tried to cover some of the news. But I'll be waiting for their after the show to see what their impressions of MetaConnect were. Yep. Okay, well, for some reason I picked it up live, but I think I was doing something probably to do with HIE and didn't get to actually watch it. Yeah, that actually figures from the title there. Okay, but it is there for replay if anybody wants it. Going further back to Tuesday, the big XR update. This is ARUVR on YouTube. XR Today's
Hi,
video.
I'm Rory Green from XR Today, bringing you the latest in news and conversation from the extended reality space. Today, we'll be discussing the future of XR solutions, notably the benefits that the immersive space can offer to industry trends.
Right, thank you. So before...
There we are. The actual guest is from a company called AR in capitals, U small case and MVR. So ARUVR. Yeah. Interesting chat. But as I said, we haven't got time to dwell on this today. Metaverse Summit. Right, actually, there were quite a few here that for some reason they were on the LinkedIn site and they don't embed properly, as you can probably tell. There was a Metaverse Summit basically there, though. 2 days, and there's four tracks. So you've got day one, morning, afternoon, and day two, morning, afternoon. They were actually rather interesting. I didn't watch all of them. In fact, I think I started watching on day two. But they're perfectly watchable. You just simply have to click the link to get to LinkedIn rather than actually find an embed code. One of these companies that just has to do it their own way, basically, rather like Hex is doing now. You know, you can't embed anything from there anywhere without getting harassed with 6 or 7 pop-ups to X itself. Right, okay. Rebecca, this is back to the Games for Change festival where things have just been, posted slowly. Rebecca Barkin here is the CEO of Lamina One, which of course she was hired by Neil Stevenson, the author of Snow Crash, for to become CEO of the forthcoming Lamina platform. They're well in the news, but I'm not really hearing much about the development of Lamina as a product in its own right. And again, back on Games for Change, I think, Brave New World or Better New World. That was quite an intriguing title, I thought. Not really any familiar names there, but interesting conversation. So on Monday, Guild. Oops, well, here we are. Okay, this is going to take too long. Basically it opened the. Oops, I got nothing entirely there. Right, so that film was actually on Vimeo. Vimeo usually embeds, but for some reason that one hasn't. But it's interesting talk there, and I think this is Meet Right, yeah, some of the other normal tweets got into this feed by mistake. So that's the roundup of the videos of the week, so to speak. And I actually see we are kind of out of time. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to go back to the movies I had, and I'm not going to play 6.5 minutes of this. Do not worry, James. What I'm going to do is start. I'm going to run through this. It's basically talking about Navigator 520, and yeah, this lady is the guinea pig, as it were. She's talking to. Where we are. No, right, introducing it all. Here she is. This is the demo, and that contraption that the demonstrator is wearing is the headset. So what it was interesting.
Yeah, put that thing on a hard hat and you are ready to rock and roll with your remote assistant. Nothing. Thermal camera. You're gonna assume you're right-eye dominant, but you might not. I don't even know what dominant I am, but probably. Oh, well, it depends on how close or how far, but yeah, right-eye dominant.
I think that's an interesting bit, of course.
Real estate and just like making it easier to communicate on the job, right? Lots of industrial stuff. Industrial applications. Had this one. I was at Realcomm in Nashville a while ago. With the headset on. I think the construction workers care. They don't care at all, but I feel like it's kind of like I've got a headband on here. It looks good. It does look good? Yeah. We always want to know that we look good, even if we're doing really techie stuff. Okay, so
This is the bit. Come on, move it.
All right, this is the camera. And then you have a display pod that you're going to actually. It's too low. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna push it back and adjust it until you can see it. So you're gonna move it around, and this moves a lot. I have no visuals right now. I have just there. So you can turn it on for me. On? Yeah, now I see it. Okay, so cool. Check it out. This one's all the way out, all the way in. So remember, you can adjust it to your perfect. All right, to my perfect fit. So it doesn't have to do with interpupillary distance. It has to do with like proximity to the eye. Okay. 2 finger lengths away. I'm like exactly there now, and that's kind of where I naturally put it. So. Yeah, it's looking good. You're so sweet. Okay, so what would this be? If I were to try to explain this to somebody, what is the equivalent of this in terms of field of view? Like, I have a huge field of view, but this is taking up, I want to say this much, but at this proximity to the eye, it's like a large TV. Yeah, for example, mine looks like a 7-inch tablet at arm's length. Right. Yours probably looks like a 10-inch tablet.
Okay, I found this kind of intriguing, and I was fighting to find the little bit where she puts it on and tries to tell us what she's getting. It sounds like they're getting a lot more visual than what you would think with just a projector against kind of one eye. It would seem to be a more of a kind of overlay thing, but when she says what she's seeing is a bit like a large screen TV, it indicates it's pretty powerful. And although I haven't got time to dig up any further stuff here, I think this is remarkably cheap, actually. Well, not cheap, of course it's not, but by comparison with some products that are lurking around, and it could be useful. I mean, it's very different from the sort of idea of glasses that I would favour. But on the other hand, you know, for something that's like a sports band with a little camera hanging out of it, it looks like it's lightweight and would actually have use. You know, if you could pull that out when you're visiting somewhere to actually see, you know, a full big screen type overlay or some of information, then it would be fine. Anyway, that is it. It has to be it, I'm afraid. James is. He hasn't let off the alarm this. Oh, yeah, we only used the alarm on another show, but I'm overdue. So, James, any thoughts, by the way, before you pull the plug on me?
Nope. Time to go.
Yes, no, time to go, exactly. Okay, folks, well, I hope we've been of some use to you this week. Stay safe. Try and stay away from any of the COVID type things that seem to be coming back with the autumn. And yeah, we will be back with another edition. Oh, we won't. Right, we won't be here next week. We'll be too busy at an expo around the corner. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. If there's anything vitally important before the 2 weeks is up, you might find me coming on doing recording an offline solo or something beforehand. But such would be a very rare occurrence. In fact, yeah. What's the phrase? When hell freezes over. Right. So thank you to James. Thank you, James.
Yep.
And we're actually out of here. So it's a wrap. See you next week. In 2 weeks. Oh dear.